Hersom Acorn Newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Wednesday, April 29th, and this is your coffee break on HANradio.com and streaming live video on the Hersom Acorn Network. Along with John Kovach, I'm Josh Fisher, and among our top stories today, a Milford man was arrested for a Stratford stabbing last night, and the suspect in a Milford stabbing was caught by police in Philadelphia yesterday. We'll also be watching the arraignment of a suspected Darien cop killer, and the state legislature is considering covering its massive deficit on the backs of the wealthy. We'll get to those stories shortly, but first, let's take a look at the roads and this beautiful weather with John Kovach.
Thanks, Josh. It has been a busy morning on the roads. They just within the past few minutes cleared a crash on Route 8 South in Shelton near exit 14. That's Route 110. Expect delays there. It's still backed up. Same in Greenwich on 95 North, just south of exit 6. Just cleared an accident there. Expect delays there. In Stamford, they've just cleared an accident on 95 South near exit 7. Expect delays there. Road work just cleared on 95 North in Darien near exit 9. Just stay out of the Darien Stamford area. It is a mess out there. Earlier delays in Fairfield cleared. They'll be setting up road work any minute now. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Taking a look at the weather, it's finally spring. This is the first spring day that we've had. Sunny 69 outside our Shelton studios. Just a light breeze, low humidity, just a gorgeous spring day. Getting up to the low 70s. No chance of precipitation today. Low of 44, partly cloudy tonight. Again, no chance of precipitation. Thursday, it moderates a little bit. Going to be in the low 60s, mostly cloudy. And then we might have a little bit of precipitation Friday when we're scheduled to bring you baseball. We'll update you on that as that forecast takes better shape. Back to you, Josh.
Thanks, John. A man wanted in connection with a double stabbing on Washington Street in Milford last week was apprehended Tuesday in Pennsylvania. Milford police, working with the FBI and the Philadelphia Highway Patrol, located Armando Rodriguez, 48, in Philadelphia at about 11:30 a.m. yesterday, and he was taken into police custody. Rodriguez was found sitting on a park bench on Penn Street and Delaware Avenue. During his apprehension, he brandished a razor knife, also known as a box cutter, at law enforcement agents, according to Milford Police Department spokesman Jeff Nielsen. There were no injuries reported during the apprehension. Rodriguez is being held by the Philadelphia Highway Patrol and is expected to be arraigned in Pennsylvania before extradition to Connecticut. The Milford police arrest warrant for Rodriguez includes charges for first-degree assault, first-degree assault on an elderly person, home invasion, burglary, larceny, and criminal violation of a restraining order. It was according to police that shortly after 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, April 19th, police responded to 124 Washington Street for reports of a domestic dispute involving a stabbing. Responding officers found a woman with a serious laceration to her neck and an elderly man who had suffered a head injury and a laceration to his neck. EMS responders transported the man and the woman to area hospitals where they were initially listed in stable condition, and they have since been released from the hospital. Rodriguez is the woman's estranged spouse, according to police, who believe Rodriguez entered the home on Washington Street without authorization and entered the woman's bedroom, where he cut her throat with a knife while she lay sleeping. He then attacked the elderly man who has vision impairment, according to police. The woman is the live-in caretaker for the male victim. You can read more about this at milfordmirror.com.
Thanks, Josh. Stratford police responding to a report of a fight in the area of 1621 West Broad Street found a man who had been stabbed laying on the sidewalk last night. The victim identified his attacker as Daniel Dzwonkowski, who was later found by Bridgeport and Stratford police a short time later. Dzwonkowski was subsequently charged with assault, police said. Officers said Dzwonkowski and the victim were arguing over money when 24-year-old Dzwonkowski, who lives in Milford, stabbed him. He was charged with first-degree assault, carrying a dangerous weapon, and tampering with evidence. His bond was set at $100,000. The victim is listed in serious condition. More on this story at StratfordStar.com.
The only person of interest in the 1981 slaying of a Darien police officer is scheduled to be arraigned in Hartford today on unrelated charges. 57-year-old Anthony Sabato of West Haven faces an 11-count indictment on drug trafficking charges as well as illegally possessing a firearm. Sabato and 25-year-old Miguel Joel Roman were arrested in an undercover drug sting in West Haven earlier this year. Darien police have said the evidence leads to Sabato in the death of Officer Kenneth Bateman on May 31st, 1981. He was gunned down while investigating a burglar alarm at the Duchess restaurant on the Post Road in Darien. It remains the only unsolved police officer murder in state history. Darien police continue to investigate Bateman's murder. John?
Thanks, Josh. The Connecticut General Assembly's tax writing panel today will consider recommending an increase in income taxes on Connecticut's wealthiest households, retroactive to January 1st, to help close the large deficit in the next state budget. Sources told the Connecticut Mirror this morning. The Democratic-controlled Finance Review and Bonding Committee will also consider significantly extending the sales tax to new goods and services as part of a plan to overhaul non-education municipal aid and limit local car taxes. In addition, the plan would move another major segment of state finances outside the constitutional spending cap. The committee, which must recommend a revenue plan for the next 2 fiscal years by Friday, was set to start meeting at 11 o'clock this morning. The panel was expected to recess shortly after convening to allow Democratic and Republican members to caucus and discuss the proposals privately in closed-door sessions. And related to that, Josh, there's word in fishing circles that the budget that's being proposed does include funding for the Kensington hatchery. Anglers were very concerned that that was going to be cut because it would affect a number of programs, perhaps most significant, the Trout in the Classroom program, which Trout Unlimited sponsors,
Right.
which reaches tens of thousands of Connecticut children each year. They raise from eggs trout that they set loose in streams as fry. They learned ecology, biology, chemistry, math, everything. It's totally cross-curriculum. That very well could have been lost if the Kensington hatchery was lost. We're waiting to see what happens there. And State Representative William Tong from Stamford has proposed legislation that would protect going forward the Kensington hatchery so we don't have to go through this again. We've gone through it 2 straight budget cycles.
Right.
We'll talk more about that on Yankee Fisherman tomorrow at 1.
Of course, up in Hartford right now, there's billions of dollars in deficit facing the legislators, and they're looking for whatever they can to cut or to raise taxes on. So watch your pocketbook, John.
I don't think they're looking at the cut. Cut seems to be a bad word up there.
Well, unless it comes to maybe something that you hold near and dear to your heart.
Right. Well, if it's unless they can save $100,000 on a how many $billion deficit.
It's approaching, I think, $1.5 billion for the next fiscal year, and they set these every 2 years, as you know. So before we move on, and maybe you might be wondering why you're having trouble breathing lately around this area. We're going to get to that a little bit, but first, let's take a look at the roads and maybe even outside the window, John.
The window. Well, you have a new shot. Things just coming in on the roads. We have delays on 95 South, just beyond exit 17. We have an accident just reported in the last minute on 95 South. That's just before exit 16. You have a motor vehicle accident in Bethany. No indication from the DOT what road that reported just a minute ago as well. Again, you're still going to have congestion on Route 8 where an earlier accident was cleared in Shelton just beyond exit 14. And you still have delays in Greenwich where a crash was just cleared. We've set up a camera, taking a look outside our Shelton studio, so we can show you that it's sunny. We can't show you that it feels like 69 degrees. Take our word for it. Very light winds, humidity 32%, getting up to a high of 71 degrees, dropping into the mid-40s tonight, partly cloudy. Clouding up tomorrow, low 60s. The one downside, Josh?
What's that, John?
Pollen alert.
Yeah. But it's a sign that spring is here.
It's a sign that spring is here.
And I'll take it as someone who certainly also suffers from pollen allergies.
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll deal with it. 69 outside our Shelton studio, 65 in Ridgefield, 63 in Fairfield. Let's hear from the people at SCAP about what they've got for us to drive.
Want a new experience in car buying? SCAP Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net, to find the new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new experience?
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well, with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersom Acorn Network. John Kovach with you, joined by Josh Fisher. Don Eng sitting in today, and Don, it is a big day in history because something happened that inspired me to do just what I'm doing right now as we speak.
Well, all right. I suspect John is referring to 1961, when we first began spanning the globe.
spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat.
Poor guy. He actually was okay.
The human drama of athletic competition.
Physically, I think emotionally.
Well, I mean, we've only watched it happen.
This is ABC's Wide World of Sport.
That's right. ABC's Wide World of Sports first premiered in 1961. The concept was pretty interesting also because they tended to show a lot of the sports that to an American audience were very exotic. You saw the flat track bicycle racing, the cross country skiing with the guy with the ice in his beard,
Motorcycle racing on ice,
ice racing,
barrel jumping from Lake Placid.
It was like every insane, like definite injury sport you can imagine.
World Wrist Wrestling Championships from Petaluma, California.
It was fantastic, and of course it came on after the PBA bowling tour on ABC Saturday afternoons. Yeah, I didn't get out much when I was 10 or 11 years old.
Or now.
Other historical highlights of today. 1429, Joan of Arc recaptures the city of Orleans in the 100 Years' War. France's greatest military hero, a 14-year-old girl who heard voices. The Maid of Orleans. 600 years later, John, still the one. 1945, the Dachau concentration camp liberated by American troops. Also, on that same day in 1945, Adolf Hitler marries longtime partner Eva Braun in the Berlin bunker and designates Admiral Karl Dönitz as his successor. Hitler and Braun would commit suicide the following day. In 1988, the Baltimore Orioles set a record for futility by losing their first 21 games of the season. Moving ahead to 1992, rioting begins in L.A. after a jury decision to acquit 4 Los Angeles police officers in the Rodney King beating trial. 54 people died in the rioting over the next 3 days. And finally, in 2004, a black Alero became the last car that Oldsmobile ever built, ending its 107 years of production. Rob Adams, unfortunately, not here, but I had a trivia question for him of which rock band's name indirectly expired by Oldsmobile's founder. You guys know because you got the script in front of you.
REO Speedwagon? I have nothing in front of me.
Ransom Eli Olds founded the Olds Motor Vehicle Company in 1897, sold the company to the conglomerate that would eventually become GM in 1908. But he soon got bored of being rich and retired, who wouldn't, and started another car company, which he named the R.E. Olds Company. When GM threatened to sue him, he changed the new company's name to REO Motor Company, which he actually pronounced Rio. And one of their earliest products was the 1917 Speedwagon, a precursor to the modern-day pickup truck. Guys, that is your look back in history, and on that note, I do believe it's time for me to fly.
Thanks, Don. Taking a look at the wide world of sports in Southern Connecticut, David Giusti of the New Canaan Rams came within 1 out of another shutout, but still had more than enough to beat the Norwalk Bears Tuesday 2-1 in Mead Park in FCIAC baseball action. Giusti's 4-0 now. He started the spring with 3 consecutive shutouts. He pitched 7 innings yesterday, allowing 1 earned run on 5 hits. For the 3rd time this season, he walked nobody and had double-digit strikeouts. This game, 11 of them, Josh. Wow. Norwalk's lone run with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. That was the first allowed by Giusti this season. His ERA, a microscopic 0.25. And if you go back to last season, 4 straight shutouts, 5 scoreless outings in a row.
Wow.
Now he's coming off of some back surgery last year and missed a sizable chunk of the season.
Certainly you could say that kind of cost them in the FCIAC tournament last year. It's nice to see him back on the mound.
It is. The Rams were led at the plate by Robbie Jones. He was 2 for 3 with a home run, scored both Ram runs. Other FCIAC action, Brian Nadek allowed only a second-inning run, and Brian Nadek allowed only a second-inning run in going the distance as the Trumbull High baseball team earned a 2-1 victory in Danbury over the Hatters Tuesday. Carlos Garrido, 2 hits and an RBI. Nadek drove in the other run for the Eagles, who posted scores in the 4th and 5th innings. Trumbull now 5-4 overall, 4-3 in the FCIAC. In the other FCIAC game, Ludlow edged Northwest Regional 13-12. to 12. Across the border in New York, and I'm grabbing this one because the score just jumped out at me. John Jay, Josh. That's a tongue twister. John Jay jumps out to a 16-0 lead after 2 innings and ends up with a 28-4 win over Mahopac yesterday.
Wow.
The Indians are 5-6. They plated 7 runs in the first, 9 in the second, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 6 in the fifth, 22 hits, 9 walks, took advantage of 6 Mahopac errors that led to 13 unearned runs.
If that happened in Connecticut, the coach would be banned for life.
No kidding. Seriously. Change the rule. Let's come up. Speaking of changing rules, we are going to talk about that in a second. So, I mean, there's just far too many big scores to go down on that one. Taking a look at the softball diamond in the FCIAC, West Hill 7, New Canaan 3. Ward edges Staples 5-4. Norwalk 12-0 over Central. Ridgefield edges Fairfield Ludlow 3-2. The boys lacrosse, Trumbull High follows up its weekend win over Brian McMahon with a 13-4 win over West Hill in Stamford on Tuesday. Seniors Tom Schutz and Jake Crow, 7 points each for the Eagles. Other FCIAC lacrosse scores: McMahon 19, Stamford 10, St. Joe's 13, Pleasantville, New York 6, Trumbull 13, West Hill 4. We gave you that one. Ridgefield 8, Wilton 6, and New Canaan 14-4 over Norwalk. In SWC boys lacrosse, Stratford High gets its second win of the season, 13-3 over visiting Notre Dame of Fairfield on Tuesday. They're signing one piece of concussion legislation today up in Hartford, and my understanding is it's a story we'll touch on later. Casey Cochran, son of football coach Jack Cochran, former Massac quarterback. He was at UConn, had to cut his career short due to concussions. He will be up there advocating for another piece of concussion legislation, this one tied to youth sports. We'll also be talking later, most likely on Nutmeg, big changes coming to the FCIAC football schedule, where you'll have rivalry games the weekend before Thanksgiving. You'll have the championship on Thanksgiving. That'll be the only game played on Thanksgiving. A 9-game season, and some people around the FCIAC and the state not happy about that change.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the people in Darien and New Canaan are going to do about that. That's. I mean, and I know all the rivals like to play on Thanksgiving. It's a fun state tradition, but no one gets a crowd like Darien and New Canaan does, no matter what anyone upstate might say.
No, and I know I'm going to miss the Thanksgiving game. They took it away down in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And now they're losing it here. And
although maybe I might get a chance to show up on Thanksgiving before 3:00 in the afternoon. Up at my parents' house. That might be nice this year.
There you go.
See, John, you got to find the silver lining.
Find the silver lining. That's it for sports. John Kovac, you're listening to Coffee Break on HANradio.com. Josh, can I jump in with a quick traffic note, by the way?
Of course.
This just moving in. We talked about Route 69. Route 69 is closed right now due to that crash.
Where is that?
That is in Bethany. And I'll try to get you a cross street as soon as I can. Earlier accident in Norwalk at 95 South near exit 16 cleared. Delays in Westport, 95 South near exit 17. Well, you have an accident 16, so you're going to have delays there. And you've got road work in Shelton, 8 North by exit 14. Again, earlier you had a crash there. Let me try to find you a better location on that Route 69 closure. And I will get it... I'll get it for you for the next report, Josh.
All right, gives us a reason to stay tuned.
There you go.
All this traffic could be the cause for this next story, too, John. And Fairfield County is now rated the most polluted county for ozone in all of Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, according to the American Lung Association's State of the Air 2015 report. Fairfield County had 52 orange unhealthy ozone days and 3 red days, one more orange day than in the previous report. The State of the Air report results should be of concern for all Connecticut residents, according to Dr. David Hill, a pulmonologist with Waterbury Pulmonary Associates and a member of the Connecticut ALA Leadership Board. Ozone pollution levels are not improving, and particle pollution shows minimal improvement, Dr. Hill said this week, adding, "This is not the progress Connecticut needs to protect and improve the health of its residents." Hill said poor air quality causes lung disease, worsens lung disease in those who already suffer from asthma and COPD, and increases the risk for heart attack and stroke. You can read a lot more about this report at SheltonHerald.com.
I remember when I lived in Bridgeport, and it has gotten better than it was, but when I lived in Bridgeport about 10, 12 years ago, and I was right near the road, but I mean, my blinds would turn black.
Yeah, that really reminds you of, and we do have some of the worst traffic in the area too.
That's a big part of it too. That Route 69 closure is at Woodcutters Drive in Bethany, and that is after a 2-car crash. 11:25 on your coffee break. New York State Police are looking for a Derby woman they believe stole from a terminally ill fashion executive, according to the New Haven Independent. Newsday reports that 34-year-old Erin O'Hanlon fled her apartment at 35 Minerva Street Monday, just before New York State Police arrived to question her about the theft of $9,200 from the bank account of Kate Sullivan, a 50-year-old Manhattan marketing executive who had worked for designers Kimora Lee Simmons and Diane von Furstenberg. Sullivan lived in Long Island. State police, in a statement, said O'Hanlon stole money just before Sullivan died in September and also stole her identity. O'Hanlon is wanted on charges of first-degree identity theft, grand larceny, and other crimes. She opened several store credit cards in New Haven, fraudulently purchasing nearly $4,000 worth of merchandise, according to New York State Police, who added that O'Hanlon could still be in the New York City area. The Derby woman is suspected of stealing about $50,000 from 8 victims in the past year, all from Long Island and New York City, Newsday reported. Anyone with information about O'Hanlon's whereabouts is asked to contact New York State Police Troop L at 631-756-3300. Coffee break time's 11:28.
Thanks, John. And speaking of Casey Cochran, the former UConn and Massac High School quarterback is heading to the state capitals to support that legislation you just talked about in your sports report, that it's designed to better educate athletes about the dangers of concussions. Cochran decided to end his playing career after he suffered his 3rd concussion since entering college during a season-opening loss to BYU last August. He had other concussions while in high school. He will appear at a news conference today to push for passage of a bill before the legislature's Appropriations Committee that would require towns and leagues make information about concussions available to athletes and parents who are registering their children to participate in a youth sport. The bill also would require coaches to take a course on the dangers of concussions and how to deal with them. Coffee break time, 11:28.
Some of that already exists. I mean, there's already a course that high school coaches have to take.
And some towns do.
And some towns do it. It's more legislation for the sake of saying I took steps to protect
Yeah, but
kids.
also, I mean, you got to think with that, too. It's a good idea maybe for the state to require some towns who don't do it.
Oh, it is. There's
and
no
it
argument.
Raises the awareness.
No argument here. No argument here. 11:29 on your coffee break. Want to do an early look at the roads and take a quick break?
Take a look through the beautiful birch tree outside.
Take a look outside. Again, Route 69 closed at Woodcutters Drive in Bethany due to a 2-car crash. Delays on 95 South in Westport, just south of exit 17. Road work in Shelton, Route 8 north at exit 14. Earlier accidents in Norwalk, Shelton, and Greenwich are cleared. Taking a look at the weather, I really wish I could do more than look at it through the lens of a camera. I'd really rather be outside, Josh, because it is absolutely gorgeous outside. It is sunny. It is 68 degrees, getting up near 70. Mid-40s tonight, clouding over, but no chance of precipitation. Tomorrow, back down into the low 60s, mostly cloudy, but still no chance of precipitation. There is a pollen alert today, so there is a downside. But it's gorgeous. Get out and enjoy it. 68 in Shelton, 65 in Ridgefield, 57 along the shore in Fairfield. You're listening to and watching Coffee Break on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersom Acorn Network. We'll be back with this from our sponsors.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with PowerRise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersom at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersom Acorn Radio.
11:33 on your coffee break this Wednesday morning. John Kovach with Josh Fisher. Yes. Beautiful day outside. Josh, we've got news on a bridge that basically brought Metro North to a big screeching halt twice last summer.
That's right, John. The Walk Bridge, which brought commuters to a halt in Norwalk twice during 2014. It was a nice echo we worked in there. Will be rebuilt, it turns out. Construction is scheduled to start in 2016 and to be completed. My copy says in 2010, but unless there's a DeLorean in the state's new budget, I don't think that's going to happen. So by 2020, the swing bridge, originally built in 1896, carries 4 tracks over the Norwalk River and opens and closes for boats. The new walk bridge will be a, quote, state-of-the-art and will feature twin bascule bridges that will enhance the safety and reliability of commuter and intercity passenger rail service, as well as the reliability for many waterway users. In February, the Connecticut DOT held a well-attended public meeting about the plan for the upcoming project. And it was in November of 2014 that the State Bond Commission approved more than $53 million for the DOT to begin work to replace the walk bridge. The state bond money will be supplemented by a $161 million federal grant awarded to the state last September under the Sandy Resilience Project program for states most affected by Hurricane Sandy. Interim repairs include modifications to the assemblies, that lift the rail clear to allow the bridge to swing, and installation of electronic switches that prevent the various gears from over-rotating, which was the cause of the failures last year, according to the state DOT. The work was done in combination with a project already underway to replace rails and ties on the bridge. The new mechanisms will be programmed into the automation of the bridge to reduce the manpower currently needed to open the bridge. John, it's 11:35. What else is going on?
Well, Josh, Connecticut's Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is reminding hunters that the 2015 spring turkey hunting season starts April 30th and runs through May 31st. This is the 34th consecutive year that sportsmen have hunted turkeys in Connecticut. The statewide turkey population is estimated around 35,000 birds. During the 2013 season, more than 9,000 hunters harvested more than 1,200 bearded turkeys. 2 bearded turkeys may be taken on state land, 3 on private land. Hunting is permitted from 1/2 hour before sunrise until noon each day. Many tagging and reporting requirements for hunters. You can read those at eastoncourier.com or some of our other HAN sites. Used to be you never saw wild turkeys, and now I see them almost
They're
daily.
all over. And there was
They're
that one that
everywhere.
was hanging out right here on Bridgeport Avenue.
I saw him the other day, I think.
Oh, because there were
everybody
reports
thought
that
he was
was dead.
gone. Yeah, no. I saw one that looked just like him.
Well, if you show up, half hour before sunrise with your muzzle-loaded shotgun, we could be having a nice turkey feast.
You can't muzzle load a shotgun. That's tough to do.
Well, I have no idea what I'm talking about also, so.
Don, muzzle loaded shotgun. That's
See,
kind
now-
of that's
now
a
I-
grape shot type deal, right?
And now,
That would be, and I'm not sure you're allowed to discharge shotguns within Shelton City
see, I
limits.
make some stupid mistake
You
about some
also-
stupid gun, and now these two are going to not let me forget it for
I'm
like
just,
a month.
No, we are using this as an opportunity to educate people
teaching
that you
moment.
cannot legally or safely discharge a firearm in between Route 8 and Bridgeport Avenue.
But just because it's not legal doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
I'm sure it has. There a crime story we could go to out of this?
Yes, there is. We'll hold off on that beautiful post office, and we're going to go right to this story, which comes from about a Shelton man who allegedly struck a stone wall with his car and fled the scene. He was charged with driving under the influence, according to the Trumbull Times. Police said that Frank Luparello, 22, admitted to police that he had just done heroin, other drugs, and drank whiskey before the accident on Teller Road in Trumbull last Tuesday afternoon. Once he struck the wall, he reportedly spoke to the homeowner but sounded irrational. He then fled but was picked up by police. Luparello allegedly said he needed to go back to rehab and only ran because he was scared. He reportedly told police he was experiencing hallucinations, including that bugs were crawling on him. He was charged with DUI, evading responsibility, and failure to drive right. After he was processed by Trumbull police, Luparello was picked up by Monroe police for a minor hit-and-run accident there. He is scheduled to appear in court on May 4th.
A magnitude 2.3 earthquake struck near Sanborn, New Hampshire early this morning, according to NECN. Preliminary reports from the earthquake, which occurred around 4:11 this morning, indicate not many people outside of the town of Sanborn felt it. Those who did reported that it was weak.
That sounds like a weak earthquake.
It is. They've
been popping up all over New England lately.
Yes.
These little weak tremors.
Yes. They're not unheard of it.
No, because I just heard about it.
Good point.
Let's take a look at it. This isn't long, but the new post office that's coming to New Canaan. This is a saga. The New Canaan
It's
post
going on
office
for
saga. It's
some
been going on for a
time.
while, but the New Canaan Advertiser has the first color rendering of Richard Caradu's proposed post office building at 18-26 Locust Avenue. That is a nice looking building.
It's a good looking.
If
That
you're watching
actually
us
looks a lot like New Canaan Town Hall.
right now, yeah, well, that's the point, because Carruto was at the New Canaan Planning and Zoning Commission's meeting last night, where commissioners expressed admiration for the federal-style building, which would be similar to the new town hall, the renovated town hall in New Canaan. That's according to ncadvertiser.com, where you can check it out for yourself if you're not watching us on hanradio.com/livestream. John?
20 of 12 on your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics, taking another look at the roads. Earlier delays in Westport on 95 South near exit 17 are reportedly cleared. Also reports within the past few minutes that the accident that had Route 69 closed in Bethany at Woodcutters Drive is cleared. Waiting to confirm that now. Road work in Shelton, Route 8 North at exit 14. That's Neen Street. And just, some delays here and there, road work popping up as they undo the pothole damage left by this winter on what is the first really gorgeous day of the spring. We're knocking on the door of 70 outside our Shelton office. Sunny, 68 degrees. Wind about 12 miles per hour, gusting to 23, getting up to 70. Tonight, clouds over, lows drop into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, low 60s, clouds over. Looking at a chance of precipitation for Friday, Josh, and that is when we are next scheduled to broadcast baseball. Cloudy, some chance of showers, about 20%, so looks good. I think earlier...
What's the temperature going to be on Friday?
57. Dress warm. Baseball weather.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball weather. Actually, it's more like football weather. When we come back, we are going to have an update on the news about the FCAC football schedule, how it's changing, the FCAC championship, and a look at yesterday's scores. You're listening to and watching Coffee Break on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersom Acorn Network.
In car buying, Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new experience?
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford, 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersom Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to Coffee Break on HANradio.com. Beautiful view right now outside our windows of that gorgeous birch tree. You know, John, when I see birches bend left and right across the lines of straighter, darker trees, I like to think some boy's been swinging on them.
That's beautiful, Josh.
Thank you.
That is beautiful.
That's Robert Frost.
Should we save this till the end, like on CBS Sunday Morning?
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes, yes.
Send Marty out into the wilds with a camera someplace and just take a picture of nature in the middle of nowhere.
I like that.
Beam it back to us. Which part of it? Send it Marty to the middle of nowhere?
Yes. No cell phone. Somewhere without cell phone reception.
Somewhere.
So maybe, just the northern woods of New Canaan.
You're pretty much set.
Speaking of New Canaan, the people in New Canaan have to be wondering about something going on today.
Last night, Josh, the FCAC has changed its football format, and that will begin with this fall, the 2015-16 season. These changes follow the departure of Harding and Bassick High Schools of Bridgeport from the league. The biggest change involves the FCAC championship football game. The new schedule moves the FCAC game back to its traditional former home, Josh, Thanksgiving Day at Stanford's Boyle Stadium as a standalone game. This will be the 50th year for the conference final, which until 1993 was held on Thanksgiving. Then it was moved to the weekend before the holiday when the FCAC added the Bridgeport schools to the conference. That allowed league rivalry games to play Thanksgiving morning. That's where you had your Darien and New Canaan, your Fairfield Ward, Fairfield Ludlow. There were some that really should have been that weren't those days. Like I always thought Ridgefield Wilton should have been, but they didn't match that up. They didn't match that up. So now those rivalry games will be the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is where the championship game had migrated to. All the other teams had a bye, and the championship game was played the weekend before Thanksgiving, except when it involved traditional Thanksgiving rivals, such as last season with Darien and New Canaan. Then they just held the game till Thanksgiving and played it then. But what they want is the standalone game because they feel they draw better if everybody else can come to see the league final.
I certainly understand that, and it wasn't great but what I would do is I'd move the FCAC championship to another day, because the reason why the Thanksgiving games draw so heavily, no matter who's playing, is because you have all this alumni home from college for Thanksgiving who can go out to the games either on Wednesday night or on Thursday morning, and it draws thousands. Even if the Darien and New Canaan are playing in a championship game, they get 3,000 people at least who show up for that game. When it's a championship game, they get 8,000 to 10,000 people.
The first one I ever saw was 1987. It was Thanksgiving of 1987. It was Greenwich with Tommy Young, Steve's brother.
Oh, yeah?
And Darien. And I had never seen that many people at a high school football game.
Yeah.
It was totally mobbed. So what we'll do now in the FCAC, it'll be a 9-game regular season. The CIAC is allowing a maximum of 10 games. The FCAC title game will be a 10th game for those two teams, thus fitting the maximum. It was approved by the Board of Directors last night, and it will be in effect for the 2015-16 and 2016-17 school years. Just looking at the statement from the FCAC, you'll have 2 divisions, one with 9 teams, one with 8. Every team will have 9 regular season games. The winner of each division will play for the FCAC champion. The winner of the division will be determined by overall record. If 2 teams in the division have the same record, the tie will be broken by head-to-head competition. If head-to-head cannot break the tie, CIAC power points will be used. This is going to be a lot of debate. I know a number of people are not happy. It's causing debate now on where to schedule the bye. Right now in the FCAC football schedule, Week 5 is a mandatory bye for everybody.
Okay.
There's some talk, do we want to buy in Week 1 now? As it's
that wouldn't even be a buy, right? That would just be delaying the start.
It's
well, if anyone can make things complicated, it's football coaches and school administrators. And John, I know you're one of those 2 things.
I can complicate things. So we'll be talking more about that when Bill Bloxham joins me and we pinch hit for Rob Adams. We hope Rob is feeling better. Bill and I pinch hit for Rob Adams on Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. Looking at yesterday's action, David Giusti came within 1 out of another shutout as New Canaan beat Norwalk 2-1. Giusti improved to 4-0. He had 3 consecutive shutouts, and yesterday pitched 7 innings before allowing 1 earned run, that with 2 out in the top of the 7th. He allowed 5 hits, walked none. 3rd time this season he's walked none. 3rd time this season he's had double-digit strikeouts. He fanned 10 yesterday. I mean, just great stuff by David Giusti there. Brian Nadek allowed only a second inning run. He went the distance for Trumbull as Trumbull traveled to Danbury and edged the Hatters 2-1. Carlos Garrido, 2 hits and an RBI. Nadek drove in the other run for the Eagles. Ludlow beat Northwest Regional in the other FCAC contest. Taking a look at lacrosse, Trumbull High, following up on a weekend win over Brian McMahon, posts a 13-4 win over West Hill of Stamford yesterday. Tom Schutz, Jake Crow, 7 points each for the Eagles. Other lacrosse scores, you have McMahon 19, Stamford 10, St. Joe's 13, Pleasantville, New York 6, Ridgefield 8-6 over Wilton in that rivalry game, and New Canaan beats Norwalk 14-4. Stratford in the SWC posts its second win of the boys lacrosse season, 13-3 over Notre Dame of Fairfield. Girls lacrosse, Wilton beats Norwalk 18-3. New Milford with a 12-9 victory over Stamford. John Jay beats Ridgefield 16-9. New Canaan 20-3 over McMahon. And Staples 13-3 over Ward. And just this baseball score from just across the border in Westchester, where John Jay scores 16 runs in the first 2 innings and routs Mayapack, sorry Rob Adams, 28-4.
That sounds like a old football game.
Old football or a rugby match.
Yeah.
Rugby league match. Again, Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock. Bill Bloxham and I will talk about this new FCAC football structure, the championship game, and the controversy that is sure to ensue. That's at 2 o'clock on HANradio.com, streaming on the HAN network. Tomorrow, Josh, we've got Coffee Break. We also have Stir Crazy, and then my show.
And Yankee Fisherman.
What's Patty got on Stir
Crazy? Yeah, I want to
Crazy?
remind listeners that this is Stir Crazy is still just radio only, but at noon tomorrow you can watch or you can listen to Patty on HANradio.com. She's going to be joined by cookbook author David Leet, which is not coincidentally rhymes with eat. He's a correspondent on NPR's Splendid Table and the founder of Leet's Culinaria, a James Beard award-winning food website. She'll also talk to Jeff Schlesinger, a founder of CTBites.com, to find out who makes the best burger in Fairfield County. That sounds interesting. And what his secret is to making melt-in-your-mouth short ribs. So that's at noon. And, of course, John, what are you going to have on Yankee Fisherman tomorrow at 1?
We are going to preview some big news from our presenting sponsor, the Dock Shop. We are going to be doing a remote there on Saturday as they open a new location.
That's right.
Second
I'm
location.
going to be there with you.
You will be there.
Whether you like it or not.
That's all right. Teach you how to
all
fish.
Right. It's all right.
Teach you how to fish. We are going to talk about some events coming up, and we're going to look at, I want to call it creative fly tying, realistic fly tying. It's a couple of interviews that I got 2 weeks ago at the Crossroads Angling Auction down in New Jersey with guys that make flies that you would think are the actual insects themselves. So much so that one of the people I interview has done them for commercials, movies, television shows. They'll hire him to tie flies to look like the insects.
Wow.
I mean, really just something I certainly don't have the patience to do.
Well, more than a decade after John G. Rowland's resignation, Connecticut is being asked to accept a multi-million-dollar settlement of damages arising from the former Republican governor's layoffs of more than 2,000 unionized state employees, an act deemed illegal by a federal court of appeals. A proposed settlement negotiated by the Office of Attorney General George Jepsen and lawyers for a coalition of state employee unions was presented Tuesday to legislative leaders, according to the Connecticut Mirror. The terms are subject to review by the General Assembly and the U.S. District Court. The value of the complex settlement was estimated at between $100 million and $125 million, but it is structured to minimize the fiscal impact on the state by compensating a majority of the plaintiffs with extra vacation and personal days, not cash. A relatively small number of employees who were laid off and never rehired, as few as 105 but as many as 250, could claim back pay, less what they earned at subsequent jobs. Their claims would be paid over 4 years. About 2,000 others who were reinstated and remain on the state payroll would be compensated with 10 vacation days and 5 personal days for emotional distress, plus additional time off for economic damages that would be calculated by a formula in the settlement. Those who were reinstated and then left state service would be paid $1,500 in 2 payments of $750 over 12 months. Coffee break time, 11:55.
Thanks, Josh. Last night, well, all day yesterday, but Monroe voters went back to the polls for a second referendum on the 2015-16 budget. 32 votes the margin, and the budget is shot down again.
Wow.
The tally 1,600 to 1,568. $84.5 million spending package was $118,000 less than the package which voters defeated April 7th. Turnout 27% just about, which is about 3% higher than the first referendum. First Selectman Steve Vavrick spent most of Tuesday lobbying on social media pages in support of the budget. Caused a bit of controversy. Some people complained about his handling of Facebook comments, calling it confrontational. He said he wanted it he intended it to be educational. So next step in Monroe, goes back for more cuts. And then back to the voters on May 12th. After the last defeat, Vavrick trimmed the $118,000 from the original $84.6 million proposal. He did not set a target for the reductions to this $84.5 million budget that shot down by just 32 votes yesterday in Monroe. They're known for redundant referendums, and I think we'll be going back another couple of times the way this is going.
So when's the next, Don, can you tell us, do you know when the next time they're going to...
May 12th.
May 12th, you said that? I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
That's all right.
So they have, and I guess, if they end up not passing it, then what happens is they have until June 30th, that's the end of the fiscal year, then the current budget goes into place on July 1.
Right.
Remember years ago, and it was the Amity School District, because there was some controversy on the school board. The town continued to. Don, do you remember? Was that Amity?
I believe it was.
Right,
yes.
and they just refused to.
Right, and it wasn't really based on, and the refusal wasn't really based on anything fiscal. It was just anger.
It was anger over some school board until everyone resigned. But they ended up actually passing the next year's budget before the previous year's budget. It went to vote like 17 or 21 times, I want to think.
Yeah.
And then the superintendent got in trouble because she opened some champagne in the office when one of the budgets passed. It got in trouble for that. It was something you just can't win sometimes.
Here's an interesting vote that just moved, and we may want to talk about on Behind the News sometime in the very near future. The MTA board has voted. I want to get it.
That 15% increase?
No, this is about political ads and not accepting them. Bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure I have that. So if you have another story, Josh, go ahead. I just want to try to get this.
Well, while we're waiting here, I
tell
just
us,
wanted to know that you guys may be interested to know that the National Weather Service has released the proposed names of the names of the upcoming hurricane season.
Tell me Josh is on there, or Fisher, one or the other.
No, neither. But if we happen to get an 11 Atlantic hurricanes, the 11th will be Hurricane Kate. Now, we have one of those blow through here every morning.
Kate.
We have one of
It's
those
like
blow through
every
here every
day.
morning.
God,
Yeah, really. We're used to it by now.
We're supposed to prepare for that. 9-2 vote. The MTA board will not accept political ads.
Wow, so no political ads on the train?
Yes.
It's probably
trying to figure
wise.
that one out. Yeah. What about issue ads?
Yeah. I mean,
Or is
it's
that what
getting rid of a lot of potential revenue, but also you remember there was the ads, the issue
That's
ads,
what's the base,
the anti-Muslim ads.
That's what the basis of it is. Looking at Peter Haskell's coverage for WCBS 880, they don't want to give a platform to what they refer to as hate mongers.
Yeah, well,
but interesting vote there. So you won't see those ads on trains anymore.
Darn.
Yeah.
We'll have to be stuck staring at Boomer and Carton or something like that. God, that's an annoying train to get on. You have to sit there and stare at Boomer Esiason and that other joker he does, that Craig Carton, you know? All right, well, then I think that does it for us.
I think it does.
We did it.
Soon
Don
people
and
will
Kate.
complain about staring at us on the trains, Josh.
Oh, God. Don and Kate will be back tomorrow. Don's here, but they'll be back on camera tomorrow. And we'll see if Don has the courage to call Kate a hurricane to her face or if he's just taking advantage of her being a couple rooms away from us. But that's been your coffee break on HANradio.com. Coming back later today at 2 o'clock, we'll have Nutmeg Sports. John will be filling in for Rob. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on HANradio.com and streaming live on the Hersom Acorn Network. For John Kovach, I'm Josh.